Ready, go.
Welcome to the December 17th meeting of the FinCom. And we will start out by doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, I pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, we're gonna just do a little bit of a, hear from Karen on some updates before we start the presentations. It'll only take a couple of minutes. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you through you, Mr. Chair. There were a few updates. I just want to let you know that from the meeting from Monday, we updated the town clerk, Cara Hill's salary to to include the 2% COLA. And this salary is 2% of her FY26 budget that's listed in the 2025 ATM warrant on Appendix A.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Also, everyone should have received a new binder, and the binder now includes 3 years' worth of actuals, along with what's been expensed as of December 15th. And we did that just to show some transparency. There was a request from both the Select Board and the Finance Committee to have that information. So you have that information both for your summary pages and for all the detail for the departments. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask me, and I can walk you through any questions that you may have.
Okay, very good. And where's Beth and Tony aren't here tonight, so where are their binders or their?
Beth took her binder
Yeah.
with her, so she has her binder. I'm not sure
And
if...
Tony wasn't
Tony-
here, so are these things that they need right here? These the things they need?
No, we updated all the for Beth, so they may have taken the binders, so if we didn't have their binders, those are all the updates that they would be putting in.
Beth and Tony, okay.
And Beth was fine with getting it the next
Yeah,
time I
okay,
see
I'm
her,
gonna
to be able to
leave these
update her
in the
binder.
mailbox downstairs and let them know that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead. Okay. Thank you for the update. And we are into recreation. Ladies? Hello, ladies.
Hi. I'm just going to share this with you guys.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. And where's recreation in the book?
Welcome.
Recreation is letter E, page 34.
Okay. All right.
All right. So we just wanted to share, I'm Emily Slavin, part-time recreation coordinator. And we have
Mary Ross, Chairman of the Recreation Committee.
So the committee got together and we went through everything that we spent, that we plan on spending. And so our software every year is about $4,000. Our porta potties right now are about $12,000 a year, but we will have to add in one more actually for the pickleball next year probably. So that will be another $4,000 on top of that. We did some maintenance. The new pickleball, we just bought some benches. There was some picnic tables. And there's a couple other things we have to buy. So that was $3,000. The ice skating rink lights, this actually increased. It was a little more than we thought. The lights we purchased the first, was it 2 years ago?
1 year ago.
1 year ago, did not last. So we need to purchase new lights. So that runs a little over $2,000. We also are responsible for the maintenance at the playground, which I'm not sure if everybody knows that Recreation does a lot of maintenance through the town. So we're responsible for the maintenance of the playground. So the Rev 8, which is like a spinny thing, everywhere the kids run around it, the surface is deteriorating. So we are getting a mat for that. The mat is not as expensive as the shipping for the mat.
Because it weighs 1,500 pounds.
Yes, so it comes to a little over 3,000 for that, but we do think that that will be important for the life of the surface. We also replaced the sand toys when needed, and there has been replacement of some equipment. We needed 2 new mallets for something, and we also needed to fix one of the diggers in the sandbox, one of the handicap toys. We might need to put some sand in this year. Thank goodness for Mary Ross's husband, who does a lot of our cleanup at the playground, along with the volunteers from the committee. We need to replace all the picnic tables and chairs. They were wooden at the time at the playground. We're having them removed by Dave, and we're going to buy the ones that are the metal with the plastic, and we're gonna buy some more out there. This pickleball, this 500, what was that? Those were for, was that some of the nets and what was that stuff?
Yeah, and we're trying to set ourselves up to have money that we plan on in case we need it within our but line items.
Yeah.
And I think that's replacements of nets if need be. The nets were taken down and stored, and they'll go back up, but we have no idea what the life expectancy of nets are.
Yeah.
So,
Unexpected. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're excited to have that open. And then unexpected charges. And then we also do a lot of free things. So the committee, we do a Carver night out, an Easter egg hunt. We usually do a winter event. This year, we were unable to do one, but usually we do a winter event. And we just started Music in the Park. And we hope to add on another date of Music in the Park next summer. We also have kayaks at Sampson's Pond. That was over 5 years. It's about $2,000 a year. We do bring back in about $300 from this summer, but
A
it's
little more. It was
almost
over 4.
Yeah, over 4. So that's from the rental fees, but obviously, as you can see, that doesn't cover what the cost is. I also just wanted to point out, so you can see that it's a little change in what we get for a budget. We understand that we probably won't get that, and we know that we can pull in from our revolving, but we also just want to make note that we are doing a lot of field work this year. We've been working with Dave, and we're looking to fix the first softball field that it's out behind here. There was some major injuries on it this year, and there is a large gap between the grass and the field, and we need to do a lot of maintenance there. And that's going to be in the 20,000 range to have that done, and that's going to have to come from our revolving. We also were approached by the baseball league that we could, they need some field work. They're willing to give some of the money, but they can't afford it all. So that is something that the committee will be voting on in January, on how much we can give to them. And we also need to put some work into the Purchase Street field, but we have to see where money goes. We put in for some help with the capital outlay to redo the basketball court that is out near the playground. It's just unsafe right now and unusable. So we're hoping to just get that resurfaced so that we can use it, and some fence being fixed. So we do a lot for a committee and a part-time person, but I just wanted to share some of the things we've been doing. We have an ice skating rink that we're excited to open. If we didn't have any damage this week, we would have been very excited to open it. But somebody decided to throw cement in the middle of it, and it froze. So I will be in Waiters on Friday getting that piece of cement out as it warms up. So
That's too bad.
And the field work is not for aesthetics, it's for safety factors.
yeah,
The lip, I think they call it, is really significant.
yeah, there was some
Along the
injuries.
baselines and stuff, so.
Yep.
So is there going to be anything of significance that you can't accomplish this year?
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
I mean, we are lucky right now that our revolving, we had
Yeah.
some missing, I don't know, some confusion in our revolving over the time, and Karen was able to really help us to find that. So we do have some money to put into those fields, but a lot of it's just one field. We're not going to be able to do multiple fields. But there's a lot of work to be done out there, and the sports do help, but you can only get so much from, registration fees. Everything is just very expensive. But we do the best to maintain everything we put in and that we were part of. So I think that's something to be said. The committee feels very strongly about maintaining the things that we ask for.
Yeah.
No, you do a tremendous job, and we thank you for that.
Yep.
You always do. And, we're always here. If you need to feel a request for something, and these guys are here, so,
Yeah.
we're always there for you.
Yeah, and we're hoping to work out cameras at the pickleball. I do feel that is a must for this year. And so we're working with Dave, and we were working with the IT here to work on that. But that, to me, is a must. And as you can see, that was a lot of money put into it. It's beautiful. And unfortunately, we don't want damage that we can't afford to replace. So cameras are a must.
Yeah.
So.
Any questions?
Questions, concerns for recreation?
Just curious, are these costs in here? Because this has only got like 3 line items in it.
No,
Yeah, that's a breakdown
Yeah,
of what's
yeah, that's
called other
just us
professional
breaking
services.
down
Oh,
What we do with our
okay.
money.
what we do with our money so that you understand that there's a lot more than just a few things. Porta potties alone are half of our budget.
They're very important.
Actually,
They are.
something that we did not include on this that comes with about an $8,000 price tag is we're having, in the fall, when the temperature's appropriate, they're going to put like a clear sealant after they make any repairs to the playground surface. And it'll gain us another 5 or 6 years of life.
We feel like the 8,000 is worth it.
Yeah.
Because there's been some issues with, Mary is so diligent, I give her credit. She's on the phone with this company who did the surface all the time, making sure we got everything from our warranty, because our warranty was just up. And she will make sure they show up in the spring and honor the rest of the fixes that they had promised. But that hasn't held up the way we had envisioned, and it's kind of sad because the school seems to be holding up a little better.
Yeah.
So we're a little
I think they
disappointed.
went with a different price point,
Okay.
but, but to replace it is definitely a capital outlay
Yeah,
thing.
so it's something we
So
could-
we're trying to prevent that,
Oh, good.
you know.
Okay,
So,
that's good.
so the sealant is something new, and that's gonna happen in the fall.
Yeah. Anything else? No? Good. Well, thank you,
All right.
ladies.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Merry
to everyone.
Christmas, yes. Okay, next, we have emergency management. Mr. Walsh.
You can tackle this one. You can tackle this one.
Okay, where's this one?
Good evening.
Tab B,
Right the path to catch up here.
emergency management. Okay.
Which tab are we on?
We're on tab B, page 21.
B as in boy?
Yeah, here we go. Hi, Tom.
Hey, well, thank you. Those of you that don't know me, I'm Tom Walsh. I'm the Emergency Management Director. I want to introduce Nancy Erickson, who's working with emergency management for the last couple of years. She's actually our operation officer. Both of us are part-time. I thought I'd start off by explaining a little bit about the recent history of how we got where we are with emergency management, how we're staffed, and what we're doing on days when there's really no big disasters going on or anything yet. You'll see our cars there, and what we're doing on those days. So to go through a little bit of history, since the mid-1980s until July 1st, 2020, the town of Carver had a full-time emergency management director. I personally held that position from February of 2004 until my retirement from full-time employment on July 1st, 2020. During that period, some of that period of time, or most of it, I was also the EMS chief, and that's a job now passed on to Mike Ryan, who was my deputy at the time. One of the main reasons that the emergency management director's position was full-time was because we were within 10 miles of a nuclear power plant. And that puts you into the emergency planning zone. And by being in that position, we had a lot of federal requirements, federal planning requirements, and periodic drills we had to pass, and drills that would simulate an emergency at the nuclear power plant. A very extensive program, and as federal government can make things very, very detailed. And that's why the job, or one of the main reasons that the job was full-time. Coincidentally, as I was preparing to retire in 2020, in 2019, the nuclear power plant closed and ceased producing power. And the nuclear preparedness, or the off-site and nuclear preparedness program, was eliminated, and the process of that elimination was completed in 2020. So with the elimination of it, I felt that, and the town agreed, or the town administrator at the time agreed, that the emergency management director's job could be done on a part-time basis, and I've stayed on as a retiree, working within the hours allowed for retirees from Plymouth County. From 2020 on, we have been doing the other things that we have to do. And those are maintenance of the town's comprehensive emergency management plan, which needs to be updated on a constant basis, at least annually. A federally required hazard mitigation plan, which is enormously difficult to do. And compliance with the Emergency Planning, Community Right to Know Act, and local emergency planning committees, and the Hazardous Material Response Plan, which is also required as part of the EPCRA plan. And it was my intention to only work 15 hours a week, and in order to keep up with everything, it became apparent to me that I was going to need some help with the document work, and that's when Nancy came on in 2023. And Nancy's got several decades experience in emergency management with 2 other towns, and it's worked out very well. We have 3 people in emergency management. The one I haven't mentioned yet is Ken Morrison, who is the Deputy Emergency Management Director. Ken works less hours, probably maybe 5, 6, 7 hours a week, paid a stipend on a monthly basis, but is there if when things happen and we kind of become full-time all of a sudden. So one of the things we've also been able to accomplish is upgrading using ARPA money. When the nuclear program was eliminated, that left us with a room with some tables and a couple of phones that didn't work very well. And that was our emergency operations center. Using ARPA funds, we spent $210,000 and have upgraded the emergency operations center to a modern, capable, fully functional from a computer as well as all technological point of view. So it's in the basement of the town hall. I encourage you to stop down sometime and look at it. It's something that any town would be proud to have. And that's another thing that Nancy spends a lot of time making sure everything is up to date there. So that's how we got to where we are. The budget is about $80,000. Total budget is about $80,000. That's $80,026 is what I requested, and Mr. Cannon chose to cut me a little bit. He hasn't really shared with me why or where, but it's an amount that I can live with. So it's about $80,000. Of the $80,000, most of it is salary. But of the, there is $6,180 listed there as other professional services. That really isn't an emergency management expense. It's run through the emergency management budget, but it's actually the hiring, the annual fee to have a public relations company on call and to be able, and it's used by all public safety and some other agencies in town as well, to get, to assist with the communicating with the public, not only in an emergency, but sometimes just in preparation for a season coming up or a risk coming up or whatever. So about $74,000 is the actual budget for emergency management. And are there any questions?
With the addition of the battery plant that they're building, will that affect, do you have to do any emergency planning on that?
We recently had some training on that just last week. And actually, no, probably not. Probably not. No more than the fact that it's here and the fact that, you know, there could be some emergencies related to it. We want to all be aware of that, and might be something we'd be involved in. But as far as actually any special planning, no.
Okay.
Other than's already been done by the fire department that's taken the lead on that. So, I mean, we're just, I think the town's well prepared, and the fire department and firefighters have been trained and everything. So the town is well prepared, but for us, it doesn't look like it'll be a big effort.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing I can tell you is Tom, and they run a real tight ship down there, you know, so they do a good job with the limited staff and, like I said, the limited budget that they have, so.
And I would also point out, and I forgot this, that by staffing it with 3 retirees, we're able to basically accomplish 1 full-time person without any pension cost and without any health insurance cost and very limited fringe benefit costs for the town. So I think it's a good.
Experience.
What?
And a lot of experience.
And a lot of experience. Nancy just.
It is.
I've had the privilege of working with Tom for a couple of times, and I've always felt that he's done an excellent job with what he has.
Well, I was in many of those drills over the
were.
years.
Representing the school department. Yes. Spent a lot of time on your cell phone, if I recall.
I don't know. Any questions, concerns for Tom and emergency management? No? Okay. Well, thank you both.
So we're there
Appreciate it.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings, and if you'd like to stop down and see the new EOC, I encourage you to do so.
Yeah, I would too, it's very impressive,
Good.
you should see the operation in there.
Okay,
Good.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
again.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Well, same to
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Same to you, Tom.
Okay, next, Olivia will do assessing.
Hello, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you all yet. My name's Olivia Verhagen. I'm the Director of Assessing. I've been here about 4 months now.
And you're still here?
I'm still here.
Okay, good.
Not going anywhere. So our budget starts with salaries.
Page 5.
Which tab?
A tab, page 5.
Thank you.
5 and 6, I guess, 5, yeah. Okay, sorry.
Okay, no, you're fine. So it starts with salaries. Our elected officials, their stipends for the Board of Assessors, And then my salary and everyone else's salaries are contractual and union. So all those changes are like that. And then when we get down to the expenses of the budget, our contract hiring consultants has decreased. I had moved some of that money to other professional services because I'm looking to upgrade our mapping services next year. So that's the biggest change. And then everything else has pretty much stayed the same.
Are you, is there anything in particular that you're not able to do this year because of budget restrictions?
Because of the upcoming year, I don't think so, no.
Okay.
No,
She's only been here 4 months.
I know.
That's why I asked an easy question.
I
Gotta
appreciate
say, if
that.
she's changing everything, we're gonna have a conversation tomorrow. I'll tell you right now.
Look, he knows where our office is.
Any questions?
That was an easy one. Walter, anything?
Well, I'm gonna say, Olivia's only been here a short time, but he has the tax rate approved, so she's hit the ground running and coming into a busy time for the assessing department.
So what mapping issue were you trying to change or whatever? You said you're moving some money around.
So I was looking to upgrade our mapping services just to make them more user-friendly, more printer-friendly, and be able to do a butters list within our mapping service instead of within our camming system, because it gives us more ability to make more particular butters lists. It would help a lot with the poll hearings,
Okay.
which would be nice, yeah. Any questions?
Well, I don't have any particular questions.
Okay,
Then I guess we're good.
perfect.
Good.
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Thank you, Olivia. Okay, do we have the North Carver Water District? Okay,
That's section 8 in your binder, so there's a number 8 towards the end, and you'll see the North Carver Water District,
It's still in A.
number 8.
number 8.
It's towards the end, so, because it's not part of the operating budget since it's under his district.
Okay. So, okay, we're ready.
So I just got presented this tonight, so I've been traveling. Fiscal year budget for 2026 is $650,000. We're looking to increase that to 1.303,336 for fiscal year 2027. Currently.
Hang on one second. Again, what page?
It's the big tab 8.
The
Oh,
number
the
8.
big tab.
Yeah, the big
Yeah.
tab.
So currently, North Carver Water District is going through the state right now for town to take over. In the interim, we've been working directly with DEP on their mandates on the private water supply to make it fall within spec where it has to be for the state to continue to be a public water supply. We have a distribution operator currently running the plant as they needed. We've made some upgrades to the plant. We've got an emergency plan in place. We've been upgrading water meters as needed. We're trying to get those, continue to upgrade the entire system. They're about 10 years old. That's the norm for a replacement. There's some additional engineering going on right now to see where the plant can go at some point, if it could be revitalized for what it is and what upgrades need to be done. So that's where a majority of the cost is. We've cut some costs out, we've lowered them, but obviously the utilities, you know what's going on with those. There's a slight increase in those year over year, but most of it has to do with professional services and fees. That's the engineering, the water district operator that's required to operate the plant, to keep the permit active, and then the additional services for moving forward with the plant in fiscal year 2027. And I think Bob, the chair, was working directly with you on the costs. We're currently getting water from Middleborough, so the rates did increase. We're charged 1.5 times the Middleborough rate. We did do an increase last month. It's going to start Q1 of this year. It's a 25% increase. Not too steep, but something that's palatable for the homeowners in town. But we're trying to keep in line with where Middleborough is, but at some point, hopefully the plant will come back online and we'll be able to offer, you know, the rates substantial to where we should be moving forward.
Is there any sense of, what do you feel about how is it to be, are we going to be able to continue with Middleborough?
That's still in talks between, I think, yourself and I believe the TA in Middleborough. There's a lot of moving parts with that. I don't know if you've watched the news. Bridgewater is actually
Yeah, I
asking
saw
for some
that,
water
yeah.
from Middleborough. So
Which has
they're,
been granted.
yeah, so they're kind of working with everybody and trying to help out what they can supply for everybody. But we do want to, at some point, possibly get even just a portion of the town off of that supply. And maybe we can move forward with the plant supplying to the North District for development. That's where the water is going to be needed.
The, so basically, you're looking to double the budget.
Correct.
And is there any sense that you guys have on where that other $650,000 is coming from?
Not directly, no. That's why the ask.
Okay.
The
Okay.
cost right now, what we take in for income from the homeowners for the water bills, it's not really covering, actually, we're negative for the cost to run the
Yeah.
plant. It's an outdated plant, so we're
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to keep it compliant with DEP's, what DEP needs in order to keep a public water supply permit from DEP, but then also upgrade and do anything we can moving forward. And I know it's in the interim, assuming from what I've seen, it's probably about 6 months we'll know if it's gonna be turned over to the town directly to operate.
Yeah.
What is the revenue stream?
Was 146,000?
Go ahead, Karen.
Through you, Chair, we have federal money that comes in around 40 to 60,000. Our user fee revenues around 100, 127. We have a $200,000 subsidy, and we have betterments for North Carver Water District that covers a $650,000 budget. We utilize around 67,000 in FY26 from prior year stabilization, North Carver Water Stabilization Fund, but moving into FY27, you're looking at a very large subsidy. With the increase in the water rates, we'll be looking at what that estimated revenue would be. We'd have to do a lot of analysis in terms of looking at different tiers, because, you know, there's different pipe sizes to figure out the revenue that we're anticipating bringing in from the residents and what's being billed. So we'll be working on analysis looking at usage and with the new rates.
So anyway you slice it, it's a $600,000 increase.
Yes. So the general fund currently subsidizes $200,000. So in FY26, there was $200,000 that's transferred and raised through the taxes to cover this particular enterprise fund.
So if I could, Mr. Chairman, so there is legislation right now pending to dissolve the North Carver Water District. It almost passed this past November. They came up one vote short. We're hoping that vote takes place soon after the new year when they come back in session up at the State House. You'll see the town budget, we've cut that right back down to what the FY26 budget was, the $650,000. What we anticipate is, you're taking this over by town forces. Right now, they're hiring consultants to do work that town staff could be doing. They do have a separate distribution operator. The town has a distribution system operator for our systems, which town hall here, the high school, and the elementary school. So we're going to combine those contracts, hopefully save a little money there. What you see in their budget, a couple of things that really stick out to me. You know, they have a capital outlay here at $314,500. That's a project I believe they talked about replacing the membranes there. That's something they need to have to get it up and running again. We would go to capital for that money and go through the capital process if we're going to be looking at that. I also see they have under other professional services, $613,900. We have proposed $313,000. Now that's to pay Middleborough right now for the water. Again, I'm not sure what the additional charge they're looking at, but You know, we're gonna, well, right now, we're not pumping any water, so we don't wanna put any money into this thing until we have control of it. And then we're gonna do an engineering study to find out how much it'll cost to actually get it back up and running. I have not been in direct contact with Jay McGrail. When I did talk to him early on, but he said, let's wait till the town of Carver actually has control of it. And we couldn't sign a document with them right now because it's the North Carver Water District who has control of the district. So we need to have that legislation passed so we have control. Then we'll go to Middleborough. I would hope, and again, it does seem like they're loosening up a little bit in Middleborough. They're very tight about who they'd let come new into the system if they're allowing another town to come in. I know they were waiting for DEP to increase their permit because they were right up against their permit. But if they're willing to help us out, I'd love to see them give us like 100,000 gallons a year, which is the capacity of the plant, and then we have additional capacity to bring new users on in the North Carver Water
I
District.
think they just opened up a new well, and they're doing a lot of work on their water system at their plant. The citizens of Middleborough were against them giving giving water to Bridgewater, but the water department chose to do so because it was probably the right thing to do. I mean, they needed it, and there was
And honestly, that's what they did with us too. You know, again, the North Carver Water District wasn't pumping clean water that people could drink. Middleborough stepped in and provided us with water. And you know, they did that because it is the right thing to do. They did it to be a good neighbor. You know, while they have a real professional there, a guy named Mike Bumpus who runs their water department. If he would take over as our system operator, I think Eric would admit it too. I mean, this guy's like on the ball. He is, you know, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. He runs a clean ship. If he would take over we'd negotiate that because he does an outstanding job. You know, and it would make sense because, you know, ultimately they're right now they're responsible for it. They're providing us the water. You know, backflow valves. I know we have some meters that don't work properly. You know, they have a professional staff. We don't have any professional staff over there at all. You know, Dave Siedendorf runs it out of our camp here, but we don't have a water, you know, professional.
Yeah, I deal with them at the restaurant a lot. And
Yeah, he's that guy, Mike Bumpus. He's again the whole crew.
Yeah.
They have, I don't know how many users they have, thousands of users.
Yeah.
And we have what, 135? And we have a very small operation, you know, compared to Middleborough. You know, they know how to run a water department.
So I'm just, some thoughts that I have. I'm hoping because the dissolution of the committee is inevitable. And I would hope that there would be a very cooperative, mutual going forward at this time between the North Carver Water District and the Town Hall, and, you know, with communication, sharing of resources and so forth, and make this transition go as smooth as possible. And also, and I know there's a lot of moving parts to this thing, and just being able to keep attending to probably the most priority of things. But I would really look for that cooperative effort over the next several months as transitioning out.
I agree.
Okay, anybody have any questions or concerns
So-
for Eric?
when we go to vote budgets and we do budgets, and are we going to do that based upon legislation possibly, or are we going to have to vote on these numbers? Yeah.
Well, we don't know yet. But
Well,
I don't know.
I think you just give it some time and let it go through the legislature and see what happens.
Correct. Right now, you don't have to vote on it. I'll tell you, last year, they pretty much presented the exact same thing. I think it was a $1.3 million budget. We cut it down to $650,000 and told them they had to live within that.
Okay.
Again, we just don't want to see this kind of, you know, spending going on when we don't know the future of the district. Until we have the future mapped out. Again, I don't want to be spending money on membranes if Middleborough's gonna provide us water.
Yeah.
Why spend that kind of money? Is it $314,000?
And when does the state start to meet again?
After the first of the year, so early on in January. And we are hoping that it happens as fast as possible, because they were one vote away, I believe, the House of Representatives. So we need one more vote.
Okay, any other issues?
No?
Eric, anything else?
I do not.
Good, thank you
I
for
want
coming.
to thank Eric for showing up. Eric's
Yeah.
been great to work with. I've been dealing with Eric.
No problem.
Eric's very open.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
If you have
very
any questions,
open.
I'm always open for a
Yeah.
phone call.
Okay,
So,
good.
Exactly. I call Eric all the time. He always picks up the phone.
Thank you again.
Yep, appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Okay, we'll do planning and inspections next.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So just so the board knows, our town planner is out on leave right now and unavailable tonight. So I'll just walk through it, and I apologize, I won't be able to go through the detail that he'd be able to go through.
Just tell us what page first.
Okay, which one's this on?
A, in section A, page 13.
I'll give you a minute to find it.
And that's the little tab A, right?
Okay.
All right.
You got it?
I'm
Got it,
in.
Walter?
Yeah, we have. You got it.
Little A 13. Walter's there. We're good.
You got it? Okay.
Thank you.
So I will start right off with the planning department here, the elected official board members, and this is one of the boards. If you look over to the FY '27 department request, there's a $9,400 request. If you look at over the next one, the TA FY '27 budget recommendations, $5,400. The board members receive a stipend for the work that they do. There was a request to increase that stipend. We did an analysis of the stipends across town and what all the surrounding communities do. We're very much in line with all the surrounding communities. In fact, we're more generous than most, if not all, of our surrounding communities. So these one. Last night, the select board voted not to increase the stipends, so that stipend's going to stay the same at the $5,400. Then you see that there is longevity. That's for the staff that's down there. In this salary, there's the department head, the town planner, and then there are two admin staff members down there also, Michelle and Jen. You might not have noticed, they sit on the other side of the hall. I believe Michelle's full-time and Jen is part-time. So those salaries are in there also. And then on the expense side, you know, they really don't spend an awful lot of money. I think like other purchases, services here, every once in a while they do have to hire a consultant. And there's another, I'm sorry, there's a separate consultant line. I know every once in a while they have to bring in a specialist for the town planner while they're walking through that. And then the other things that, you know, just the normal stuff, postage, advertising, office supplies, in-state travel. So nothing out of the norm here. If there's any questions?
So is it going to be problematic with the planner on leave right now?
Well, we do have an interim town planner in because this leave could be fairly extensive. So we do have an interim town planner in there. And primarily to help the planning board. So, you know, a town planner assists the planning board with all, you know, all the development that's coming forward. And then also other projects going on. Certainly like the MBTA zoning, you know, you saw that come up recently. There's an economic development plan right now we just got a grant for. That would be moving forward. We're slowing those down right now because this planner is only working 15 hours a week. So she's giving her time primarily to the planning board. If she has extra hours, she works on other projects, but some of those other projects are taking a back seat right now. And just until we can get a town planner back up and running again.
And they're gonna be okay with a 40% cut?
For the stipends?
I'm just looking at the total expenses, and it looks, you've got a,
Yes, yes.
okay. Because the request was 25 and 13 is the,
No, they're okay.
okay. no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine with me, no, yep.
Okay, anybody else? No?
Yeah.
Okay, Glenn, we're good, thank you. And then we'll go on to accounting, which I think is gonna be Karen.
Yeah, do you want to do the inspections, or again?
That's on
Oh, I'm sorry,
page 20.
my oversight, yes, please.
Inspection, section B, page 20.
My oversight, sorry. Okay.
So for the building inspections, we made some adjustments. The building inspection, the department head included, let's see, one second. The building inspection was just a building, and we had it broken up with gas inspection, electrical, and weights and measures. So we have part-time inspectors, and so because they all fall under the building department, the salaries are now included. At the top, you'll see the regular salaries are $65,520. This is an increase. The building inspector felt that the salaries for the plumber and the electrician were under what they are receiving outside of the town. He felt that, for the work that they do and their commitment to the town, he wanted to increase their salaries. Their salaries in the past have been $23,000, so there was an increase for their salaries in that line.
So maybe a couple things I could just elaborate on there. So the gas inspector, the electrical inspector, in reality, they're staff to the building inspector. They were shown as separate departments before, but they really don't function as separate departments. They're all one department under the building commissioner. So that's why we combine those salaries. There is an increase, again, to the gas inspector and the electrical inspector. But the building commissioner also came back recently, in front of the select board, to increase the fees for those inspections too. So offset the cost, the additional cost there. So I think it'll be a wash at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to. There is an increase, but it should be a wash with the increase in revenue. And then I think the other thing too is, again, they were showing the separate departments. They all share the same office supplies. They all share the same admin staff. They really were not separate departments. If you go down there, they all sit together. They're all, they work together every single day. They have to. So we saw it was just a natural thing to combine the departments. And they were all for it too. Like I say, they're sharing resources now.
And just to add that for the plumbing and electrical inspectors, they received a $10,000 increase from their prior year salary. So it's not a total increase of 65. It's just their regular budget was around 45,000, and then you had the $20,000 increase, 10 for each. And so you'll see that under the supplemental request in the salary section.
It's fairly straightforward. I don't know if there's any questions, yeah.
No, it's very straightforward.
again,
Anybody?
it's-
Jim, Walter,
No.
Jack, anybody?
Very bare bones budget.
Yep.
They're not
Yeah, no,
using a lot of
good,
resources from the town.
good ideas for the combining of efforts and so forth.
Yeah, again, that's how they operate.
Yep.
You can see it, there's actually less than $7,000 in expenses here. I think the majority of that too really comes from the weights and measures guy who has to get the new tools, his new equipment everyone breaks down.
So the-
When the gasoline stations.
The revenue from permits and so on, that goes right to onto the town budget, not basically in this department?
Correct, correct. Goes right into the general account, but we're anticipating it will offset what
Uh-huh.
that's for the increase.
I'm good.
Okay, we're good. Thank you. Now we'll go on to accounting with, I'm sure, Karen.
So accounting is in section A. and This is on page 4.
Okay.
So this is the department that I manage and I oversee. This is the department that I manage, and I also, as a finance director, oversee the assessing office and the treasurer and collectors. The accounting salary budget overall decreased by approximately 3%, and that was just due to our senior accountant position that was filled this year at a lower step than was originally budgeted. We're able to decrease our overtime just due to having additional staff. We're able to cover for vacations and when other people are out, so we have a lot more coverage in the office that we won't need to utilize overtime. Due to the savings in last year's budget for FY25, our department was able to support 2 summer interns. However, just due to the current budget constraints, that request was not included in the FY27 budget. If there are at any time any additional funds that become available, I would welcome the opportunity to request a moderate amount to continue providing exposure to missing finance for young professionals. We had 2 people over the summer and they did an amazing job. They worked on different projects that we actually are using now, and they really enjoyed their time learning about municipal finance while they work for the town of Carver. You're looking around maybe like $3,000. Within our expense budget, our professional service line, if you look at what has been spent in the past, going back to 2023, 24, 25, that covers our consultants. And so we have our consultants that do our financial statements, which is CBIZ, and our OPEB GASB reporting. And we also have some professional development with a lot of the municipal accounting organizations so that we can stay current with state and best practices. Our other professional service line has been decreased because the work that used to be outsourced is done within our office. And so it's done between myself and my staff as I train them. Over the past year and a half in the accounting department, we have 3 staff members, Kim Walsh, Laura Patine, and Jasmine Benfeda. She just started, and we've implemented a lot of new internal controls, workflows, and procedures to really improve transparency, efficiency, and the timeliness of monthly reporting, financial reporting. There were a lot of, delays in reports and the financial structure, along with the conversion from a different financial software system. So I just wanted to thank them for the work that they put into this department. It's a lot that they've been doing, and so I appreciate what they've been doing. Are there any questions?
I just want to make another observation about the other professional services, and we talked about that the other night, and I know you have to use certain accounts and numbers like from the state and so forth, and not necessarily to go back and redo anything, but to going forward. I mean, you get other professional services line of $60,000 or $80,000. Can we have sometime some kind of descriptives or whatever that go along with that? Because just looking at it now, nobody knows what that is. We talked about that Monday night.
We could change the line to consulting services, because it's only paying 2 different consultants. So we pay CBIZ, who does our financial statements, and then we pay Odyssey that does our OPEB GASB.
I mean, that would even be better. You don't have to go do it now, but just, going forward, I'd like, maybe we could see a little bit better descriptive of
Section on
that.
the bottom.
Oh, yeah, we can always add, more detail.
Asterisk.
Absolutely.
Put an asterisk on the line,
Yeah.
and put something on the bottom that says who's included in there.
Yeah, that'd be
Not to
good.
reinvent the wheel.
Right.
Well, because one thing I'll say, if you take out the other professional, this is a very bare bones budget. I consider
Oh, yeah, no, it
Less-
is. It really is.
Less than $7,000, and some of that's just training. And again, for the consultants, it's our audit and it's our OPEB, which is our other professional,
Oh, yeah.
benefits for retirees. So those are required by the state
Yep.
for us to do those.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Okay.
Off the budget subject, but as long as we're in accounting, how are we doing with the Vadar replacement?
We're currently working with Eric Kinshoff's group.
Right, yeah.
We put bids out, so we're waiting for those to come in. We have a meeting with Munis on Friday to look at different features and what some of our options are. So we're still moving forward with looking at those systems.
Okay, so we're on track for a new system on the new fiscal year.
Yes, yes, we are.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Any other questions for the accounting budget? So there are two other budgets that I'll be going over tonight. One is debt service. And if you want to turn to section F, page 36, I'll briefly go over where we are with our debt service.
36?
Yes.
yeah, that's-
So you're looking
okay,
at
Right there.
I got you.
section F, page 36. So, we had a lot of savings with our debt service for FY '27 because we had debt that dropped off. We had a savings, around $200,000 that helped us balance the budget. The repairs at the middle high school and the fire engine dropped off for FY '27, so that, and we also gained we increased our debt slightly with the work that was done at the library roof and the town hall roof just last year. And so that savings in our debt service really allowed us to help the town manager balance the budget for this fiscal year. So as we move forward, we're constantly looking at our debt service, what's going to be dropping off, what, our 5-year, 5 to 10-year capital plan, and looking at ways that we'll be utilizing savings as that time comes up. So we have a few more years before we have more debt that will be dropping off, but then hopefully we'll have projects that can replace that. In addition, we have, new financial policies where we're putting money into our debt stabilization. So at the last, town meeting, there was funds that were put into the debt stabilization. So that will help offset paying some of that debt when those projects come up in the future. Any questions on debt service?
I'm just curious, on the police station line, there's a fairly decent fluctuation as you go through here.
Depending on how, so some of these accounts were set up differently. We have some that were in the SoftWrite system, some that were in the Vadar system, and so as you're going, you really want to look at the actual debt service. Some things went to some accounts. We have the principal and interest payments that are separate. For a lot of our debt service, we have it on a declining basis as well, and some are just the straight debt service throughout. For instance, North Carver Water District, we pay $231 every year, and that's the same amount. But, this is strictly based off of our debt service that we receive from our Hilltop. Some of the structural changes within the actual budgets may be different, but I would have to look into it to give an explanation of why the prior year expenses are different.
Okay, that's fine.
Anybody else?
And if you, I just want to add, behind the debt service, you'll also see our Hilltop debt service schedule that we receive every year, explaining what debt we're paying. And so then you can see a breakdown of the principal and interest for each authorization that we issue debt on. Any other questions?
Anybody else? No? We're good?
Okay. The next section I'll have you turn to is benefits. And benefits is on page That's at the back of your binder. One moment. It's on page 37.
I have it as section G, right after F.
Oh, the small ones, okay.
Yeah, the
okay.
small ones.
Yep. Got it.
And that's on page 37.
Yeah.
Sorry. One moment, please. So, within this budget, we have, in the benefits, we have the firefighters, LoSAP. That is a benefit that is provided to volunteer firefighters when they retire. So depending on their service, the number of calls, there's a point system that they're allowed, and then upon retirement, they're paid out a certain amount of money. Because they're volunteers, they don't receive any benefits. And so this is something that was voted in by town meeting several years ago. And the price for what we pay out is going up to $190,000, and this is managed by Chief Weston in the fire department. Falls under benefits because it's like an annuity. Our municipal insurance, in the past, as you're looking at municipal insurance, there are no actuals for 23, 24, and 25 because this expense was originally expensed out of the select board town manager's budget. So as I was looking at the FY27 budget, the FY27 request is based off our actuals. A lot of times in the past, our budget has been based off of the budget projections, not the actuals. And so if you look at the select board's budget, you'll see that the actuals for this line is around, around $300,000, a little more than $300,000. The next line is life insurance. Life insurance is pretty the same amount every year, so we're not looking for that large of an increase. It's pretty consistent with what we've paid in the past. And we have the Social Security Medicare payments, and that also, falls in line with what we've paid in the past as well. So we're not looking at any changes for that or the health insurance mitigation administrative fee. So we have fees for the health insurance mitigation fund, and that was an article in the warrant years ago. You don't see in the operating budget because the operating budget is not covering any of the additional warrants that were authorized in prior years. The Plymouth County retirement, this amount was, there's a $7,000, 7% increase. This was based off of the preliminary estimates that we were provided for the town. The health insurance costs, we have an increase. The health insurance costs are based off of actuals. So as you look at what we actually spend compared to what has been budgeted, we're looking at a 25% increase in health insurance, and that's based off the actuals. The 11% increase and decrease is based off of our request and what the budget was from the prior year. And so as I presented the FY27 projections, it's based off of actual expenses from prior year. Unemployment, In the past, unemployment has kind of gone down. We don't have that many people that are receiving anything. That also covers workers' comp, so we have a few members in the school department and some in the town. So we're able to decrease unemployment from 80,000 to 70,000. And then we have the Old Colony. The Old Colony Regional Tech School, we have to pay an assessment. That assessment was a 5% increase over our actuals from last year. You know, as we move forward, you know, as we move forward towards, you know, our April town meeting, you know, we'll be getting different revenue sources, and if anything changes as we get new projections or new numbers that will be added.
I have a question, Karen. I want to go back to Plymouth County retirement. Okay, so we get assessed by the Plymouth County Retirement Board, and we know what they're doing. Now, the money that comes to pay them, is that totally paid by the town, or do the employees also pay a share of that?
That's paid by the town.
So the employee is, unlike health insurance, the town pays some of it and the employees pay some of it. But on the retirement,
The retirement, they have 9%, so they have a portion of their taxes, you know, the portion of the check that goes into their retirement.
Into
And so
the-
it goes into the retirement plan for them, and then the employer's portion that we pay comes out of the budget.
okay, so that's, so, yeah, so they get assessed, just like the teachers do. They get that assessed and that goes direct.
That's correct, it's 9%.
And then the town pays their portion.
The town pays the employer's portion. And that's the assessment from, you know, as they're looking to pay down the liability, each
yeah.
town gets a different assessment
We
fee.
know all about that one. So comparatively, health insurance, the town pays 75% and the employees pay 25%. In Plymouth County retirement, and the teachers, they just pay it all anyway. The town pays nothing towards the teacher's retirement. And in the non-teaching staff and all the municipal staff, they pay 9%, and the town gets an assessment. What is the, do you have any idea of what that 9% equates to as opposed to what the town actually pays?
And I'd have to look that up to see, you know, the total of what the employees are actually contributing. I don't have that information in front of me, but I can provide that to
Is
you.
that easy enough to find?
Yes, it is.
Could you
Yes.
get me that number?
Yes, I can get that for
Thank
you.
you. I've always been curious about that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And some of it varies because they changed it a few years ago. So some of the guys are still paying 1%. The new hirees are
Oh,
paying a
and they
different
pay more,
percentage.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, depending on when you were hired, there were
Right.
different
But
percentages.
that would be an interesting, I'd like to see that comparison. Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions, concerns, thoughts for Karen or Glenn? Because that brings us then to the end of our meeting. And,
Section, don't you?
Yeah, select board.
oh, wait a minute, you do?
Yeah. Select Board, Town Administrator?
I knew that.
You were just trying to skip over. What are you
Oh, Man, I
getting?
am, wow.
All right, what page?
Celtics playing tonight?
Whoa, boy.
Page 2 I have.
Page, section 2? page-
Section A?
Section A,
Section
page
A,
2.
page 2.
Boy.
The moderator must be page 1, right? Yeah, the moderator's page 1.
Okay.
Page 2, good. Yeah, we might want to skim through this. It's $500,000 in expenses. Oh, that's prior years.
So, again, you see most of it is in salaries. Again, you see the elected officials, the stipend stays the same for the select board. They voted not to increase their stipend. My salary is a contractual salary. The assistant town administrator, the procurement coordinator, and then the clerical. Those are also personnel code employees. And then next thing you see down here, there is town hall additional hours, and that's how we pay. Like right now, we have an interim town planner. We are in the process of contracting with an interim conservation agent. He resigned last Friday. So, still trying to get somebody in there to help the conservation department. And then our IT director also resigned, and so we don't have we are paying a stipend to an employee to help us cover that. So again, those salaries come out of that line item. We've hired some interns, like Karen was alluding to. I think they're a great value for the town. For a small amount of money, you get a really qualified candidate, usually in college, maybe in their master's program. So those are the things we do out of that one. Again, we do hire some consultants, primarily for special projects that do come up. Try to think of if the town needed to hire an engineering firm to conduct some type of analysis. These are the kinds of things that usually come out of that. And usually, I'll say they're like emergency or unplanned events that do come up throughout the year. But not a great, not a large project at all. The rest of it, I think, is pretty straightforward. The drug screening for the O&M, so we pay, this is one of the things we pay that out of our line item, and that's so that we can check and make sure that gets done, is what it comes down to. That's part of the requirement if you have your CDL license. So again, we have to check up, we have to ensure that that's done. We have to give that information back over to the federal government. See, in-state travel, membership and dues. You see the municipal insurance, it's almost way down to the bottom there. You can see that, so there's a 23 actual, 24 actual, and 25 actual. And then really when Karen and myself came on board, we took that line item and moved it into the benefits where I believe it does belong. I've never actually seen it in the town administrators. And I think that's really all. I'm happy to answer any questions.
That's pretty straightforward.
Pretty
Yeah,
straightforward.
Yeah, the only thing that's really, say, a little bit different is that town hall additional hours. I don't think you normally see that, but I think it's a better thing, because then you're not coming back to you guys at the end of the year when we're all over budget for hiring these people who are, that you have to have. What are you gonna do? Especially IT these days, it's so critical to the town function. I'm sure it is to anybody who runs a business, anybody's in the business world. You just can't go without an IT director.
Right.
Those two, it is just over. You have to have them.
Anybody? Anybody, Jack? Well, we're good. Now we're done.
Now,
Okay.
Now we can close the book.
Now I got
Literally.
it. Now I got it right. Okay. We don't have a next meeting date yet, but we will. We're gonna have a joint meeting sometime
I don't have my schedule with me,
in
Pat.
January.
Yes.
I know, so we can, I'll let everybody know about that. We're gonna have a joint meeting with the select board. That's good. We do quarterly joint meetings with the select board, and our next one will be, I think we did one in October, and next one's gonna be in January. So that'll actually be our next meeting, date to be determined.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for your work. We take the budget now, we'll refine it again. We bring that in front of the select board, let them know that you've reviewed it and gone through it, so they know it's had a good thorough review.
And then what we're gonna do is, when we get some sense of a warrant, and then at that point is when we would take actual votes.
Yes.
And then we would, and again, I wanted to make sure that we can get that vote done in time, that when the warrant is printed, the final version is printed, our votes are in there.
Yeah.
So we don't have to meet a half hour before town meeting
Yeah.
To go over the votes.
Well, and I would say that's one thing, unique to Carver. There was a bylaw that says that the budget has to be published 30 days before town meeting. So that's actually, we actually publish the budget before we publish the warrant.
Yeah.
So you have to do your work a little bit in
Yeah.
advance.
Yeah, so we just got to know when that is.
Yes.
And then, you know, and we can take the proper
Yeah.
votes at that time, because none of this was required a vote. But
Yeah.
we will be voting, yeah.
I show that to you, Pat. I have a schedule in my office. Written, I should bring it in for you.
Okay,
I'm surprised, I'm sorry I don't have it tonight.
no, that's okay.
I should have had it with me.
We'll know it.
Yeah, well, I know we have time. Again, we do plan on presenting the budget, at least handing it over to the select board on January 6th, now that you've gone through it. Again, I really didn't want to give it to them before then, because we're
Right.
changing every single day, right? We
Yep.
just changed from Monday to
Yep.
today. I don't think we had any changes tonight, right? No changes, so we're in good shape anyways.
Yeah.
But we'll go through it again,
Yeah.
Karen's always going through it, she's constantly on it, run through the numbers, so, we'll go through it again, and again, be able to present that to them on January 6th, see if they have questions, and, take it from there and come back to you.
We will, we're good. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Do we,